Hi Cupcakes, this one is going to be a modest witchy haul just to show you a few new things that I have. The first thing that I need to start with is this epic wall hanging behind me of Kali and Shiva in my favourite tale about them, I would say. I won't go into the ins and outs of it here in this video, but a while ago, quite a long time ago actually, I did mention in a video that I was planning to get around to talking about why Kali is such an important goddess for me. I would say she's a secondary matron. She's very important to me, very significant in my life. I just love her energy, I love the myths that surround her, and the reason for this is, I think, primarily because when I was growing up, my stepfather's parents were extremely religious, very Christian, and they went over to India and worked as missionaries for a very long time while my stepfather was growing up. My stepfather actually lived in several boarding schools in India and Nepal while his parents were doing this work to spread the message of Christ. And obviously the people that they would have been primarily spreading that message to were Hindus. Anyways, a long time later, when they were old human beings, and we would stay at their house for the weekend, they would take us through slides that showed us their adventures in India and showed us, like the Himalayas and kind of their journey through Nepal and India, talking to people. And I was about, I would say, 7 or 8 years old. And I was sat on their sofa looking at these slides and listening to them talk about their stories and, whatnot. And a slide came along that showed a really formidable looking fierce goddess. She was totally black, her tongue was like lolling out of her head and it was all red with blood, and she had a string of human heads around her neck, and the statue was surrounded by flowers and candles, and to me it just looked incredible, and there was all like coloured candle wax dripping down her skirts and things. Anyway, my step-grandmother leapt up from the chair and went over to her husband and kind of slammed the projector off and said, I thought you said you'd taken all of those pictures out. And my step-grandfather was like, well, I thought I had. And she said, well, you obviously didn't, did you? I don't want the children seeing that. That stuck with me. That stuck with me for a very long time. And I thought to myself, oh, so there are these other gods in this other part of the world, and they're completely different to what's on the Abrahamic plate. They look different and they're obviously worshipped differently. And these people who are very devoutly Christian clearly have some kind of trepidation over them. And that was kind of as much as I could work out at that very young age. But it really inspired me when I got older to go in search of these gods from India. And as soon as I saw an image of Kali again, I knew it was her, and I discovered that, she was the goddess of war and destruction, and she was Shiva's counterpart, and it all kind of came together. So I was instilled very early with that fascination, which just goes to show that people are very right when they say that when you try and forbid something from a child, the child automatically starts to become curious and starts to crave that thing. And that was very true for me with Kali and with the Hindu pantheon in general. It was forbidden fruit, so I went after it, and when I rediscovered her again, I was very excited about that. So a long time ago I saw that Sammy from Sammy Spirit had a wall hanging of Lakshmi, and I loved it. I thought it was so beautiful. I think she actually gave it away in a giveaway, but I remember thinking I need a wall hanging of Kali and Shiva. And I just went to Camden Market last weekend. For those of you who don't know anything about Camden Market in London, it is kind of like the alternative place to go to shop. It's a very exciting, very vibrant market, like in the centre of town, and it's just awesome, and I haven't been for a long time. So I went with my best friend and I came across a guy selling these wall hangings which were painted in India, and they just had such acidic colours and they really had that wow factor. And so I finally purchased my wall hanging of Kali and Shiva. I knew it would happen one day, and it finally has. And I bought a few other things as well which I guess are India themed. I have this gorgeous book crafted also in India. I bought it from a shop in Camden called Namaste, and on the front it has the Om symbol, and I'm planning to put kind of some crazy cosmic downloads and thoughts in there. I think it's all kind of like handmade paper. It's really beautiful and really sturdy, so I'm happy to have that. And while I was in Namaste, I also purchased some more Nag Champa. This is sandalwood and frangipani. This is very, very popular in Hindu temples, very popular with yoga practitioners. It's my favourite. I think it's a lot of people's favourite, and I'd run out, so I grabbed a little bit more of that too. I went to a festival recently, that it was like kind of like a little local festival with lots of music and kind of craft stalls and things like that. And normally my tradition with that festival is to go there to buy rocks. I become a total rock whore as soon as I walk through the gates, because there are shops there that are selling really reasonably priced crystals, and of course you've got that added bonus of being able to touch them and really feel their energy and see what they're like in your palm. And I went there on a Sunday because on Saturday I was at Stonehenge, and my reflections on that are going to be coming up in another video. But yeah, so I went there on Sunday, and actually I didn't realise that things kind of shut down a little earlier on a Sunday, and I couldn't find the ordinary stalls that I go to. So I thought I was going to leave empty-handed, which I was fine with. But while I was talking to some of my friends, my boyfriend kind of felt a little bit determined, and he like went off in search of somewhere to buy me a rock. And he came back with this piece of black tourmaline, which is awesome, and it's one of my favourite stones, one of my favourite grounding stones, one of my favourite energetic shielding and protection stones. That's kind of how I associate it in my mind, its correspondences. And I've been using this one for tarot readings, particularly for clients that are going through major shifts, that kind of feel emotionally vulnerable, and I feel like it's a super powerful little stone. And I also placed it onto my altar, and I love it, and again, perfect for the palm. That's really important for me because I like to fiddle. When I'm at home, I'll often walk around and just have something in my palm and just feel it and just catch the vibes. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. It's not really something I bought, it was a gift to me, but I thought I would include it here. And now I'm just going to take you through 3 of my most recent decks that I've purchased. 2 of them are oracle decks, and the other is a tarot deck. I've actually had Tarot of the Wild Unknown for quite some time now, but I don't think I've made mention of it on the channel before, and I know that it is a hugely popular deck for so many of you, and really it's the deck I think that a great many people have been waiting for. Between this and Gypsy Palace Tarot, I'm a happy bunny, I must say. And if you haven't purchased Tarot of the Wild Unknown yet, and you're kind of debating it, or you've had a look at the imagery online and you're not really sure, I can tell you, I mean, the cardstock is beautiful, the images are beautiful, there's some really, really magical atmosphere coming through in this deck. I'll just show you a few images. They're just so, they've almost got a psychedelic quality to them, kind of a little bit spacey and encouraging you to make cosmic leaps, and kind of tie the symbolism together with very much your own individual interpretation. There's also a lot of animal imagery in them, which I love. They're just stunning and very moody. Some of them are very moody, and I really enjoy the way some of them are totally black and white and others utilise quite a lot of colour. I think that kind of gives you that shock of colour that comes through. Just for an example, the contrast here, or even better, the contrast here. This is such a dark card, and this is such a bright card. It really pops out at you. It's got that electricity running through it, and I think that contrast between monochrome and exceptionally bright kind of eye-popping colour really, really works for me. I've done quite a few readings with Tarot of the Wild Unknown now, and I'm planning to discuss in a video fairly soon my responses to the Major Arcana in Tarot of the Wild Unknown too. Next up, I purchased Earth Magic Oracle deck. This deck is awesome, so awesome. I really love it. It's not my usual style, but I had a look at the names of some of the cards, and I kind of pieced together in my mind what doing a reading with this deck would be like, and I felt that it would definitely be rewarding and a little different to what I ordinarily work with in terms of symbolism and in terms of the overall concept of a deck. So I purchased it, and I'm definitely not sorry. It's got a very pagan flavour. It uses very much symbols and ideas from the natural world, and it's just really, how can I put this? It's strange because actually each card has its title and then one key word to help you understand the foundation of its meaning according to the designer's perspective. And actually I did my first few readings with it without looking at the book at all, and then what I did was I broke down my interpretations and then looked through the book to see how spot on I was to the original card meaning, to the intended meaning. And actually these are very, very intuitive, meaning they really help you to click in with your intuition, and you do actually get the foundation meaning of the card each time. You get what was intended, obviously still fleshed out with interpretations from your own consciousness, which is so important, but you do get what was intended. And I think that is so clever. I think there's something about the colours and something about the imagery that's been chosen which really allows you to tap into the intended meaning according to the creator's perspective without even looking at the book. And then when you do reference the book, you realise that you have actually attuned yourself intuitively with what the creator had on his mind at the time. So that's kind of exciting. And then the third deck that I published, check me out, I'm getting ahead of myself here. No, I will do that one day, I'm sure, but not right now. The third deck that I purchased, Journey of Love Oracle deck. This is such a paradigm shifting, light working, new age deck. I love it. I was looking for a deck that had a card called Shakti, because I'm really interested at the moment in Shakti, in Kundalini awareness. I'm looking again at kind of different ideas about goddess triads, different ideas about divine feminine according to different cultural perspectives. And for me, Shakti is this overarching idea of what the divine feminine personified and the divine feminine tangible and manifest really means. So I was really interested in trying to find a deck that linked in with a lot of ideas of divine femininity and actually had a card called Shakti. So I started doing some research and I discovered this oracle deck called Journey of Love. And it is absolutely beautiful, and the book that comes with it is beautiful and very poetic and includes actual poetry, and the definitions for each card are so considered and so vibrantly written, and there's so much depth. There is so much depth to this deck. The imagery is, I suppose, what you could call rather abstract. It's very flowing and floaty and kind of makes you feel like you're falling into the illustrations. But I think it's got such a mystical feeling to it, and it helps me to tap into some of the most potent spiritual ideas and mindsets that I've been in lately. And some of the names of the cards are so beautiful. This one is called Sweet Soul Rising, which is so beautiful. This one is called Devotion to the Small, which is nice. This one is called Angel of Jupiter Awaken. And the book gives you so much to go on and so much to explore, but I also think these are great for just flashcards, for daily draws, for getting your ideas and your creative juices flowing, and for trying to invite those vast transpersonal downloads when you need them and when you feel that you're ready and open to receive them. I will probably talk more about this deck in another video. I'll probably dedicate a video to it because it's just so powerful, I think, and it really resonates with me. This one is called Shifting Universes. It's just perfect. I feel a very strong bond to the deck already, and I can't wait to work with it so much more, and I feel really blessed that I actually put those search words into Google and found something that really flicked my switch. If you're looking for an oracle deck and you're looking for something that has many layers of meaning and kind of takes you off the beaten track and helps you to connect with some of those deeper ideas and some of those deeper insights from self, then I would recommend Journey of Love for sure. And that's all for my little witchy haul. It's not too over the top, but it's just a few things that I thought I would talk about. And I'm sorry for the video drought lately. I feel like I've not really been putting much out there, but I'm kind of in the middle stage of manifesting a new camera with much better sound, because I am actually looking to do a second tarot course, and I'm really excited about it. I've kind of formulated the curriculum, if you like, and I'm so excited to get started with you guys, but I don't want to film it on this camera because I'm aware that the sound quality is not so great, and I would like this course to be a really lasting resource that can be on the internet for many moons and that people can access on their tablets, Macs, PCs, because I know that there is a real difference in sound quality depending on what kind of device you're using with this camera. So I'm in the middle of manifesting something that will make it easier for me to make high quality videos, which is great. And one thing more that I wanted to add with regard to this witchy haul kind of vibe, I recently purchased the summer solstice portion of the Psycho-Spiritual Wheel of the Year by Joanna DeVoe. It's epic, it's beautiful, so many insights, so much food for the mind and for the soul. I highly recommend purchasing any one of the 8 segments of the Psycho-Spiritual Wheel of the Year. I'm hugely enjoying it, Joe. Thank you so much. And until next time, all of you, much love and blessed be.